Welcome, brothers.
Shabbat Shalom again.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
We're here live in effect. Most High, holy day. Yeah, we might not be in that today. But let's get it anyway, sister. You never know. Okay. As always, we want to start off by giving all the glory, the honor, and the praise to God Almighty, the sovereign Lord of the universe, Ahaya Ashur Ahaya. Thank Him for the undeserved kindness, the love, the blessings, the grace, the sacrifice, the covenant that He made with our fathers. In the name of Yahshua, we thank you. With that, for those who are new, today is a holy day. It is actually the first day of summer, according to the Most High. Okay, we know that the Romans, or the Caucasians, the Edomites, they go off a different calendar than the Most High. Right? Why would we expect anything different? They are not His people. They never had His laws, never followed Him. So they're following after their own gods and traditions, right? Following after the glory of the Babylonian calendar, okay? That's where it all starts from. They're still serving the same gods. And we thank the Most High for getting us back on track. We no longer worship the god Baal, right? The god of the Canaanites, the god of the Edomites, Satan. Can everybody please mute their phones? Put your phones on silent. While I'm doing that, let me do it myself. Turn up. I think that's how you do it.
Yeah. Let me see.
You get that puppy?
Turn this up.
Pardon? Should be able to. Yeah, it's just.
No, I mean mute you. I mean put the ringer off. That's what I meant.
No, that was they were tuned into the video.
Is this going right here?
Yeah,
That
they were
one?
sharing the video.
Oh, is that one going right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, today is called the new moon, right? Or new month, the change of seasons. When I was in the world, I didn't know about the change of seasons, but they're very important to the Most High. What are you doing?
No, when we sent the link to them, when they clicked on it, it just played.
Oh, so the actual video?
It started playing. Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
They gotta go through that to share it.
Oh, okay. Thought you watched something else over there. It's me. Okay, mama. So, let's get to it. We know many people say that there's different Sabbaths. All in all, Sabbath is a Sabbath. Okay? The Most High say it's a Sabbath, it's a Sabbath. That means it's the same functions, the same course of operation on that day. Okay? So we know we have our regular Friday night, sundown, sunset, to Saturday, sundown, sunset, Sabbath. He said all the days that He has sanctified to Himself as holy days are Sabbaths. Okay? Today happens to be one of those. So, let's get into it, like how we know it's a Sabbath and that kind of stuff, and we're going to get into what it is and why we're celebrating. Today is a feast day. Okay? It's Holy Convocation, but it's a feast day in remembrance of a covenant that the Most High made with our fathers. Okay? We're going to start with one of our forefathers, Noah. But let's get to the book of Amos first, chapter 8. We're going to read 4 and 5. And we're going to see how our people have not changed since this day. We're still complaining about the Sabbath and things until this day. We're still a murmuring people. Okay? Oh, the title is New Moon Feast and Debunking the Daytime Sabbath Doctrine. Right? So we're going to get into that as well. not gonna spend a lot of time today. We're gonna hopefully we can get done in 45 minutes, an hour, and get to the feast. So I know that's shocking. You know, we're gonna try to do that today. Most High will.
What is it again,
New moon feast and debunking the daytime Sabbath doctrine. Okay? So we're gonna listen to what the Most High say. Not the Jewish people. Okay. Amos chapter 8, verse 4 and 5, read.
Hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy.
He's talking to the elders of Israel. Okay?
Even to make the poor of the land to fail, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small?
So it's showing that during this day, it's the same operation as a normal Sabbath. It's a Sabbath. And Most High said, do something in remembrance as memorial. It's forever. So we're seeing that our people are complaining, like, when is the new moon over with, so we can get back to what we do. Okay? And Most High going to explain to them what they do. Okay? Let's go.
That we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small, and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit.
See, that's what they're doing. Cheating their brethren, their sisters. Right? They want to get back to doing what they do. Oppressing their own brethren. Making their brothers suffer. It says, you know, they're selling a smaller portion for more money. Right? The balance is not right. That's not the law. Right? So, just want to touch that to show that how people, even though they were wrong, they still was operating this day as a Sabbath. Because they read, we're about to read. For those who have their pseudepigraphers, we're going to go into the book of Jubilees, chapter 6. And this is the pseudepigrapher that we do. For all those who have this one, this is the book that we use. This is a book that had many of our records that was taken out of the original scrolls by the Roman Catholic Church. We're going to get into the premise of this day. We're not going to read the whole story about Noah. So I'm going to summarize it if I can. Most I will. Oh, page 22 into the picture. Yeah. This story, prior to this part, is describing how the Most High preserved Noah to save the generations, right, of the seed. And it talks about these 4 particular periods of time that he operated according to the wrath that he had displayed on the world, right? You know, he opened up the floodgates, and he opened up the abyss, and he caused the earth to flood. Then, you know, on the new moon, you know, he caused the floodgates to close, and, you know, in the mouth of the abyss to close. 13 more weeks of new season, new moon. You know, he did something else, and you know, Noah looked out and he saw that he was glad because the water had seceded. So each new moon, the Most High operated, right, miraculously. But let's skip to that and let's get to the new moon. So after he goes down with Noah, because we read this for the Feast of Weeks, because that's what's talking about the Feast of Weeks prior to this right here. So now we're going to Sean. It's enough. Sean, we in Bible class. Stop it. So let's start at verse 23, dealing with the new moon.
Verse 23, the book of Jubilees, chapter 6. For I have written in the book of the first law, in that which I have written for thee, that thou shouldest celebrate it in its season, one day in the year. And I explained to thee its sacrifices, that the children of Israel should remember and celebrate it throughout their generations in this month, one day in every year. And on the new moon of the first month, and on the new moon of the fourth month, and on the new moon of the seventh month, and on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance, and the days of the seasons in their 4 divisions of the year.
So these are 4 divisions of the seasons. They're called intergalactical days, right? These are spirits. I'm saying that because everything the Most High has created is spirit. The clouds are spirits, the rain, the water is spirit, the snow is spirit, the hoarfrost is spirit, the seasons are spirits, the heat is a spirit, the cold is a spirit. Everything is spiritual that Most High created, even ourselves. This is just a vessel that holds us. Okay? We must understand that because we're going to get into the stuff in a little while. So these are 4 different changes of spirits, right? He said that these are the days, because after the flood, we had seasons. He said he would keep that, and he gave a covenant of a rainbow for us to remember his wrath. And remember that he promised our forefather Noah that he would no longer destroy through his wrath the earth by water. But he said he'd do it by fire, though. He said we're going to destroy it, but I'm not going to do it by water, but I'm coming with fire next time. Okay? And he gave us a small illustration of Sodom and Gomorrah and the 5 districts surrounding it. How it looks when he brings the wrath. Specific area. Right? So he said these 4 days are days of remembrance. That's why we're here. Because truthfully, all in all, what we must take of this, at the end of the day, is heed the warning first. The Most High wrath destroyed the earth and all the disobedient people upon it. So it's a wonderful thing to have different seasons, but we must understand it's like when a woman gives birth. Those birth pains are a remembrance of our mother's sin. So y'all complain about your pain, remember why you're in pain. That's what the Most High is trying to get us to understand. Something happened that displeased him, and he caused something to happen for we will remember it. So we don't do as our mother. So we don't do as the people in the days of Noah. Okay? Let's keep reading.
These are written and ordained as a testimony forever, and Noah ordained them for himself as feasts for the generations forever.
That's why we have food prepared. We have a feast today. We're going to keep the tradition, the commandment. Read.
And Noah ordained them for himself as feasts for the generations forever, as a testimony for Salaki. He was bidden to make for himself an ark, and on that day the earth became dry, and he opened the ark and saw the earth. And on the new moon of the 4th month, the 4 mouths of the depths of the abyss beneath were closed.
See, the Most High stopped the water from gushing up on the earth from the seas. Okay, so the rain just didn't come from above; it came from the seas, from the oceans too. Right? Very violent time. Okay, let's go.
And on the new moon of the 7th month, all the mouths of the abyss beneath of the abysses of the earth were opened.
So now, see, on the next new moon, 13 weeks later, a new season, the Most High Spirit operated and it opened the mouths from the depths of the abyss, and it made it took in the water that flooded the earth. Okay, read.
And the waters began to descend into them. And on the new moon of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were seen, and Noah was glad. And on this account he ordained them for himself as feasts for a memorial forever. And thus are they ordained, and they placed them on the heavenly tablets.
So it cannot be changed. They're placed on the heavenly tablets. Okay? Cannot be changed. Right? Again, why was Noah glad? See, these are the questions we got to ask ourselves as we go through this little story. We got to dig deeper into it. Right? This was a sad time, truthfully, because you think Noah didn't have any friends and family besides his sons? Yeah, friends. You know what I'm saying? He preached for 120 years, him and the righteous. With the part of the Bible that they left us. Right? It don't go into detail. The Bible we have today is only an overview of our records. Enoch himself wrote 366 books. 266 books. 266 to 366 books. Don't quote me. I know it was one of the two. A lot of books. So our forefathers had a lot of records. We don't have all those. Now, I'm saying that for a brief term and try to bring that back into the conversation as we go farther into the discussion we have today, right? But many people were destroyed. The whole earth was destroyed. Billions of people were destroyed, so that was a sad time. But Noah was glad, right? His family, his sons and their wives and his wife were preserved. So that's something to be glad about, right? I was speaking to somebody earlier today, and they mentioned that, well, only a few gonna make it. I wouldn't be glad like Noah. You get it? Because as Noah and them preached for 120 years, nobody listened. We're preaching right now, and they're saying the same thing. It never rained before. What you building this boat for in the middle of nowhere? It wasn't no water around when he was built. It was dry land. So he may appear to be crazy to me. We may appear to be crazy to many, but we must try to be Noah. So we're remembering this day, remembering the wrath of our Heavenly Father and the promise that He kept to the righteous. The righteous, the judgment is not for the righteous. The judgment is for the wicked. And Noah and his family was righteous and it was preserved. Okay? So let us strive to be righteous. So when the Most High wrath finally comes to this earth, ourselves will be preserved. That's what it's all about, remembering not just the feast time, but why there's a feast. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
Verse 29, and they placed them on the heavenly tablets. Each had 13 weeks, from one to another, past their memorial, from the first to the second.
So every season have 13 weeks. Today is the first day of summer, according to the Most High. 13 weeks later, hey, y'all know it's coming. You know what I mean? We have what coming next? Fall, autumn, right? And after the spirit change, it be one that we all dread. Winter. Okay? Every 13 weeks, there's a change of season, there's a change of spirits. Remember, all this stuff that's around us is spirits operating. Okay? Let's go.
And from the second to the third, and from the third to the fourth, and all the days of the commandment will be 250 weeks of days.
So 52 weeks, right, of days. Okay? 52 Sabbaths makes up a complete year. Okay? Let's get it.
And these will make the entire year complete. Thus it is engraven and ordained on the heavenly tablets. And there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year or from year to year. And command thou the children of Israel.
Again, he's commanding only the children of Israel. This is the only family, as he said in Amos chapter 3, verse 1 through 3. Israel, you're the only family that I have known that he has dealt with. He's given them, again, that his law, statutes, commandments. He's telling the children of Israel how to operate to please him. Okay? So, we must listen to him, the creator of all things. Read.
And command thou the children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days.
364 days. I said it for a reason. We must listen to the Most High God, not these Gentiles. They say it's 365 and what? And a quarter, all kind of stuff, leap years and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? The Most High said there's 52 Sabbaths, 364 days in his year. Okay? 364 days, that means the complete cycle of night and day. Because remember, we're going to get to this in a minute. There was evening, morning, the first day. And then it was evening again. Okay? Remember what I said, because that's what the Most High going to say. Because we're not going to listen no more to these Jewish people. Come on in, my brother, have a seat. Let's read. If you're a man, take your hat off, please. Respect. Thank you. Come on, have a seat, my brother. Jake. Wake up. Peace, my brother. Let's get it.
Continue in verse 32. For everything will fall out in them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day, nor disturb any feast. But if they
So
do,
the Most High, if we follow the Most High, there's no change in it. The Most High don't change. Right? No such thing as a leap year. He don't say that here. Right? For those who understand Jubilees, when this book of Jubilees was given to Moses. It's called the Secrets of the Times. So the Most High is giving the secrets of the times to his friend, Moses. He called Moses his friend. So as Christ said, I no longer call you servant because the servant know not what his master doing. I call you now friends because what my Father tell me, I will tell you. You know all things. So the Most High is exposing to his friend and child the secrets of his times, of his days, okay, of his feasts. Read.
but if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged from this order, and they will disturb the seasons and the years, and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons.
And will forget the new moons. See, we never heard of a new moon when we was in church. See, what will cause the people to forget and neglect what the Most High is saying right now? Captivity. The people that go into captivity, into slavery, will forget because they will be beaten, stripped of their heritage, destroyed, and given lies, a false reality, a false nationality. So, a couple years after, the patriot, not the patriarch, but the elders died away, and the children watched their parents getting murdered, raped, beat. The mom is telling the son, "No, do what Master say because I don't want you to just go through what your father just went through." Right? And so, from generations to generations, they no longer have to beat us and kill us and whip us because we willfully served them, even with enjoyment, even created a false sense of pride for being their slaves. Right? When I say a false sense of pride, because right now you see it today. Somebody got a so-called better job than the next brother, and they look down on their brother. But you're a slave for the same master. No? As we say all the time, one speck of dirt talking about the other speck of dirt. But captivity is what will cause these people to lose their heritage. So now they forget the Sabbath. It becomes what the master say. It's Sunday. It's during the daylight time. All this stuff. Or you ain't got to the Sabbath is over with. The Sabbath is whenever you want to do the Sabbath. Right? But the Most High said that these are his days and times and seasons. Right? Let's go.
And will forget the new moons and seasons and Sabbaths, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. For I know, and from henceforth will I declare it unto thee.
So Most High said we forget the years, right? I just talked about how we can lose all this knowledge through captivity, right? Can any of us prove what year it is today? Seriously, can anyone prove what year it is? See? If our people had never went into captivity, we would know what year it is. We woke up out of captivity, born out of mama's womb. And, she told us that, hey, you was born in 1972. Who told her that? See what I'm saying? So, Israel is lost. Right? Israel is lost. But Christ promises to come back for his lost sheep. Right? He said he would not leave us. He will always be with us, even to the end. Okay? But he's back. He's not back like he's coming back, but his spirit is operating right now, reviving his children, his father's children. Right? Bringing back the captivity, explaining to us why and what and who is doing what and how they doing it. Right? So his spirit is operating in the land today, but he will come back in the flesh. Okay? So, let's go. I had to say that because people, it's some doctrines out there that Christ already came. And, man, that's another crazy doctrine. We're not going to go there today, but let's keep going.
For I know, and from henceforth will I declare it unto thee, and it is not of my own devising.
See, the Most High didn't cause his children to lose this knowledge. They did. They went against his law. They despised his law. And he put them into slavery because he told them in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1, if you do these things, keep all my commandments as I command you this day, all these blessings will come upon you and overtake you. See my brother, see shaking his head? That brother know he read this book. Do y'all understand? That's a child of Israel right there. Judge not from the outward appearance. That's our brother. Okay? My brother, I thank you for kind of thank the Most High for opening that door for you today. Okay? My man. The Most High Spirit deal with you, my brother. Okay? And so let's keep going. I lost my train of thought.
For the book lies written before me, and on the heavenly tablets the division of days is ordained, lest
the division of days is ordained by the Most High. Okay? So the Roman Catholic Church cannot tell us what the Most High is saying or what he said, because he never told them. He told the children of Israel. Right? Let's go.
lest they forget the feast of the covenant and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles.
To the who?
Feast of the Gentiles.
Christmas. Sound familiar? Thanksgiving. Easter Sunday. Mama's Day. Daddy's Day. Best Friend Day. Valentine's Day. Is anybody right now in the neighborhood honoring and worshiping, celebrating the new moon? This prophecy has come fulfilled. Right? We are listening, been trained, programmed by the Gentiles. And for those who understand, say it again, who don't understand what Gentiles, that's a non-Israelite. One that's not of the stock of Jacob. Okay? The grandson of Abraham. Okay? Read.
And walk according to the feast of the Gentiles, after their error and after their ignorance.
Their ignorance, because he never gave them his laws, statutes, ordinances. Okay? Read.
For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon.
Of the who?
Of the moon.
Of the who?
Of the moon.
Of the moon. Right? That's what the Jewish people follow. Right? A female deity. Right? They follow the moon and setting their calendars up and doing their holy days. Right? And a lot of our brothers and sisters who understand they are Israel are following after the Jewish people and are going wrong because they're following and worshiping the moon. Okay? The Most High said what? They will err by following the moon. Why?
For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon, how it disturbs the seasons, and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon.
See, so the moon comes in 10 days too soon. So it's not a complete year. So you follow her, she will disturb the times and the feasts and the seasons. You can't follow her for this. Okay? There's other things you follow her for, but this is not one of them. Okay? Read.
For this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order, and make an abominable day the day of testimony, and an unclean day a feast day. And they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months and Sabbaths and feasts and jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to thee that thou mayest testify to them. For after thy death thy children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason they will go wrong as to the new moons and seasons and Sabbaths and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh.
See, also the Most High made a covenant with them according to the law. He said that we are not to eat blood, because in all flesh the blood is the life therein. The spirit is in the blood, right? We are not to eat blood. That's why we are to eat our food well done, right? Not go after the Gentiles and eat, and get our steak medium rare, right? Medium well. I was once with a seed by Gentiles, ordered my steak with a little blood in it, because they told me that it's more juicier that way. It'll taste better that way. You hear me? It's more tender, right? The Most High said we are not to do that. So our people have erred by listening to the Gentiles in everything. Okay? Now, so we see the Most High told us to remember these times. So 13 weeks from now, we will be again going over the same information. Right? Having another feast. Okay? Now, let's get it. Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. 725. We're talking about these Gentiles, right? Concerning the fourth beast. The fourth beast in the book of Daniel, the Most High consoled Daniel and all his children through Daniel concerning how long we'll be in captivity. As we know, like Jeremiah asked the Most High, like, is Israel a homeborn slave?
Yeah.
Like, man, I thought we was your people, we was your anointed, your elect. We been a tail for a long time. So through love, and he gave us consolation through Daniel. He said there'd be four beasts, four world empires that will rule over us and keep us in captivity until our Messiah comes. Okay? And during this time, in harmony with what we just read, right? He says that we will go after the Gentiles in error concerning his days, his feasts, his Sabbaths, his new moons, his jubilees, right? What will they do? Let me read this part, because I want to stop at a certain part. So verse 25, I'm going to read the first half. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he should be diverse from the first. No, I'm on the wrong one. 25. And he should speak, now check it out, this is the fourth beast. And he should speak great words against the Most High. That's what this beast, this world power, America, who is really Rome, has been doing. Speaking great things, blasphemy against the Most High. As a matter of fact, in Revelations, it says, she has many names, blasphemy. That's what she does. She lies against the Most High, speaks against the Most High, right? And she'll wear out the saints of the Most High. When it says wear out the saints, that means afflict the saints. So the saints, the chosen of the Most High, will be going through hell on earth, right? We suffer oppression, right? They say wear out the saints. And think to change times and laws. Whose times and whose laws? The Most High's. So that's why our people, like it said, will go after Gentiles, and they will think to change time, even though they call it 2018. It's not 2018 to the Most High, because through Daniel and everything in other records, He given us a time period. He gave these nations 1,750 years to rule over His people after Christ's death. So it can't be 2018. Okay, and we're in the last of that time. He said cut that time short, or no flesh will be saved for our sake. Right? So it can't be 2018. So they thought to change time to deceive His people. Okay, and laws. They changed it by telling His people that there are no more laws. Right? But they keep that tithe law though. That's the law they're gonna keep. What do they say? Well, the man robbed God. You know what I'm saying? You know, so to the church. They keep that law. But Revelations chapter 2. Let's see who these people are, right? Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. Now, this is the fourth beast, Rome. The last empire that will rule on earth before Christ came to rule on earth. So that's how we know who is ruling right now, according to prophecy. Okay? But who are these people? Now check it out. We know that we are the true Jews, right? So this scripture cannot be talking. The first part is talking about us. So the last part, when Yasha is talking, we know he ain't talking about us. Okay, let's get it, Tyler.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works.
Now Yasha is talking to the church. Yes, the churches, right? The Jews. Okay? His kindred, his kinsmen. Okay? Let's go.
I know thy works and tribulation.
See, he know our works and tribulations. Just talk about being in oppression, getting shut down in the street, everything taken from us, suffering, right? Let's get it.
And poverty.
In poverty. Okay. Are we in poverty? Are the Jewish people in poverty? So he ain't talking about them. Because he just said his people are in tribulations and poverty. Okay? I mean, they own everything. It's no prophecy in the Bible that said in the end time that Israel will be ruling and owning everything. Okay? Not one. It said that we'll only be spoiled and oppressed, right? And won't of all things serving our enemies, right? We have to go to them for everything. We're the only nation that in the community other people serve themselves of us. I'm sorry, but you won't see in other nations, communities, other nations serve themselves off of them. Right now, we can go right now down the street, across the street, get some chicken, from an Arab. Go down there and get some chicken from an Asian dude. Huh? I know Asian was good in frying chicken. I thought they ate rice. Thought they known for rice. They fried chicken now. And rats, cats, and all that stuff. Cats. Y'all think y'all get some chicken. Be careful. I'm just kidding though, but for real though. But yeah, real talk. Let's get it. So now you're gonna talk to these people, right? There's only one people who have been known to call themselves this. Because prophecy said that God's chosen people will lose their heritage. Right? They will speak a different language. And they'll be in captivity. Right? So read, please.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
But thou art rich. See, if we are obedient to the Most High, we are rich because we have His Spirit operating in us. And we have been adopted back as children to the Most High. And as children of Most High, we are also heirs with Christ. Okay? Read.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not. The blasphemy.
The lies of them that say they are Jews and are not. See, this is why they can't stand Christ. When he was on earth, he was doing the same thing he did right now from heaven. Calling them out. Only one people that's around here lying and saying that they are Jews and they're not. Right? Who are they? The Jewish Romans, right? The Khazarians, the original serpent people. Okay? The Bible also calls them the serpent people. That's the name. They had their name a long time ago. They dropped their name and called themselves the Jewish people for political power. Okay? And said that they was us, but they never said they were the Jews. They said they was Jewish because they knew what the Bible said, that in the last day he'll wake his children up. He says, in 2 days I revive my people, and the third day they will rest. I mean, they will be in my presence. We in the second day. Right? Let's get it.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
But are the synagogue of Satan. That's who they are. And I'm going to show y'all some pictures. Where your phone at, Tyler? Because we're going to get into this doctrine that comes from the synagogue of Satan. Okay?
Scroll to the right.
Here's
Got the,
this way right here.
Yep.
This is the so-called father of the so-called daytime Sabbath. Okay? A Jesuit. Jewish. Here we go right here. Up some.
Right in front of the camera.
Right in front of the camera. Right there. You see him with Queen Elizabeth, one of the chiefs of the synagogue of Satan. I'm putting this one so they can see her too. So I'm not taking no information from this guy right here. Okay? I'm gonna show you. He's plugged in with them. He's a Jew. He a Jewish person too, a Roman that's been one of the chiefs that's been deceiving God's people. You see that right there? Okay, we're gonna get into him. Because Most High said, don't listen to him. Christ said that he know their blasphemies. Because they are of the synagogue of Satan. Okay? Let's pass it around, let's get it. So, that's why I was talking yesterday about Christianity. It's of the synagogue of Satan. Islam of the synagogue of Satan. All religions are of the synagogue of Satan. Satan is the controller, the God of this earth. The Bible says that. Okay? He's soon about to get taken down by the Messiah. Okay? Revelation chapter 3, verse 9.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
But do lie. Okay?
Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
We will make them come and worship at thy feet, at our feet. Let them know that he had loved us. He never forsook us. We forsook him. In our kingdom. And that don't mean that, we're going to be stomping them out and that kind of stuff, as some people say. But hey, ties are going to change. Okay? We will get back our rich heritage, our belongings, and more. Okay? Psalms 76, verse 1.
13.
Oh, sorry. Revelation is 13 and 1. Thank you, brother. And then we're going to get to Psalms next. I'm going to show you why I showed y'all those pictures of the father of the so-called daytime Sabbath doctrine. Okay? Most High never said that. Okay? And I'm going to show you why. Okay? That's a misinterpretation of God's word. It promotes iniquity.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
So, beast rising out of the sea is the same beast that we read, that we skipped, but we mentioned in Daniel. Coming out of the sea is coming out of the people, coming out of the waters. Right? Let's go.
And upon his head and upon his horns 10 crowns.
So we know that Rome, it says having 7 heads. And the Most High is getting in detail, giving us clues. Rome is surrounded by 7 mountains, 7 hills, right? And in the 10 crowns is the 10 original countries that form the EU. Okay? Read.
And upon his heads the names of blasphemy.
Upon that governmental power is blasphemy. Okay? Even on a dollar bill, they show you who they are. Okay? And they say, in God we trust. They ain't talking about the creator of all gods. I mean, yeah, the creator of all gods. The creator of all things. Okay? They ain't talking about that one. They're talking about the little g God. Satan. Right? In their God they trust. Think I'm lying? If you know any Mason that's a 33-degree Mason, he might not break his code, his vow to you, but if you're close to him, he'll let you know that when you become a 33-degree Mason, they let them know that the God they serve is Lucifer, right? But the God of all things, his name is Ahia. They would tell them that his name is Ahia. They won't say Jehovah, because Jehovah is Jabalan, the God that they serve, Satan. Okay? Read.
Verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
So these are a combination of the 4 beasts that's in Daniel. It has attributes of all 4 kingdoms. But this beast, as the Bible says in Daniel, hey, it's more vicious than all the other kingdoms that came before it. It has all the attributes. The religious blasphemies, which are the major controller operation that enslaves all mankind, destroys more mankind than war, and they have all the years of experience of war. So they take it from each world power and made a mighty nation that's fierce. Right? Let's go.
And his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power.
So that's why Yasha is saying, or y'all call Jesus Christ, is saying these people that say they are Jews and are not, or are liars, and are of the synagogue of Satan. They're the only people that's in synagogues. Another clue, okay? Because he knows Satan gave them their power. And let's just get it. Why can we say that? That's one precept right there is talking about Satan giving these people who the Bible says are his children, his power and authority, right? Wait, remember when Christ was on earth and he went and he fasted for the 40 days and the 40 nights? Yeah. And Satan offered Christ all the authority of the kingdoms. And Christ said, well, his Father has prepared for him is much greater. See, Christ's kingdom is going to destroy Satan's kingdom. And guess what it also says? The saints of the Most High would take their kingdom and rule with their big brother and Lord and Savior. And our kingdom will never be taken down and rule forever. So, Satan has authority to give to whom he wants on earth right now, because the Most High has allowed him to operate as such. Okay? So, read your phone.
It's been passed.
No, bro, this, come on, man. Let's take too long. Just do it. I got hands.
Sure, but
Tyler had about 5 phones. If it break, it ain't nothing to do. It ain't nothing to do. So let's go. Right here.
I got hands.
Yeah, I got hands. I ain't lost them yet. So, these people is who the Bible is talking about. Edom. Hope you can look in the camera. Can you see this?
oh yeah,
Right there?
right there.
That's the queen. And those are children.
Down.
Down a little bit. See that right there? Right here?
Yep.
So, this is who the Most High is talking about. Okay? Satan has given his children what? Power and his seat. Right? That's why they call yourself the royal family. Ain't nothing royal about them. They're Satanists. They're evil, demonic people. And everything wicked you can imagine, that's what they do. Okay? And his seat and his great authority. So that's who their God is. No matter what they say, we have the Torah and we follow God's law. No, you do not. You follow your God laws. The Messiah said that you a liar. Okay? He said yesterday in the lesson that you don't have nothing in him. Okay? Truth is not in you. So we are not to receive nothing from the synagogue of Satan. They exist to destroy God's people. Okay? Now, Psalms. No, we can go to
Verse 6.
go 6.
Starting at verse 3.
No,
Go 3 to 6. 4. You got 3?
No, where we at?
3.
3.
And I saw one of his heads, as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed.
See, that was Rome. It came back as America. Okay? It wasn't destroyed. Them the same people. Just hiding under a new identity. They're still Esau. The Edomites. Okay? Read.
And all the world wandered after the beast.
Right now, the world's fascinated by their so-called technology. Their technology ain't about nothing. Their greatest accomplishments do what? Destroy. That's nothing great about that, destroying mankind. Okay? Read.
Verse 4. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Who is like America? They say America is the greatest country. The greatest place to be. Really? Most of the people believe that. Like we're petrified to go somewhere else because we was told that it's bad somewhere else. How bad can it be when y'all kill us in the street? Can't even drive down the street. You scared of the police. How bad can that be going somewhere else? Like, what you got to lose?
That's true.
It's a dice roll in America for Israelite. You know, you hoping you don't crap out. Get the wrong cop the wrong night. You out of here. You know? Let's go.
Verse 5. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven.
See? Satan is at war with the Most High and his children that follow his laws and commandments and keep the testimony of Christ. Now, let's go.
Psalm 76.
Oh, Psalm 76. I want to get to this doctrine so bad.
76.
Psalm 76, verse 1. This is why, one of the reasons why, we cannot follow after the synagogue of Satan. Okay? Because the Bible tells us something different. Okay? Read.
Psalms chapter 76 and verse 1. In Judah is God known.
In Judah is God known. And that's why I keep making the disclaimer that for a Gentile to inherit everlasting life in our kingdom, you must come to an Israelite and learn about the God of the Israelites. Because only in Judah, in Israel, is God known. He's not known in the synagogue of Satan. Only in Judah, right? And guess who was the leader of Judah? Yasha. His spirit is operating in his chosen, not in the synagogue of Satan's chosen. So you can only learn the truth about Ahaya Shoahaya, the sovereign Lord of the universe, through Israel.
In Judah is God known. His name is great in Israel.
His name is great in Israel. If you were the Israelites, why would you say, I can't enunciate, I can't speak God's name? Really? Because in the true Israel, and this is talking about a people, right? Let's keep going. And in Solomon, and also is his tabernacle and his dwelling place in Zion. Solomon is another name for Jerusalem. Okay? That's the only city the Most High will put his name on. He's not there right now. But only in Israel can you find out who the Most High is. And we're going to proclaim the Most High name like Yasha did when he told his disciples, I have proclaimed your name and will continue doing so. So if Christ can pronounce, enunciate, speak abroad, God's name, we're going to follow our Lord and Savior and do the same thing. Not only are we going to proclaim his name, we're going to teach the God of Israel. Okay? Now, let's get to the beginning. See, we're going to listen to what our God said. We don't need no Jewish person's interpretations on what our God is saying. Okay? So, because we just read about days, and I'm quite sure when the Most High said it was 364 days in a year, he was not talking about only the daytime. Okay? But let's go. And for those who understand what this daylight or 12-hour Sabbath is, they're saying that the Sabbath does not start at Friday night sundown. It actually starts Saturday morning when the sun rises, and it ends when the sun goes down Saturday. So that's why I said it promotes iniquity. It promotes sin, because that gives you your Friday, your Saturday night all free. Do what you want to do. That sounds like someone who will make an excuse to sin to me. Okay? So let's get it. Let's listen to what the Most High said. Okay? He don't need no private interpretation. He said no prophecies of any private interpretation. Okay? So he gonna express to us what he said. The Most High said add nothing to it or don't take anything from it. So let's go.
The book of Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1.
So this is an overview of creation. We're gonna go to our other records to, verify, confirm what we're saying.
And it reads, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Now, for those who won't understand this, we're gonna get to this and prove what we're saying. In the beginning, the Most High started from the beginning of creation. Okay? He says that it was darkness on the face of the deep. So he's telling us something. Darkness was created first. What is darkness? Darkness is a spirit. What is light? It's a spirit. This is what the Jewish people aren't telling those people who are deceived about what a day means. He's talking to a spirit, and I'm going to prove that. Okay? Darkness is a spirit, light is a spirit. Okay? Let's go.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light.
See, and God said, let there be light. Light came after darkness. Light was created after the spirit of darkness. Okay? Remember that. Let's go.
And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness.
Now, when you go through that little doctrine, that daytime Sabbath stuff, all you really hear about is a division between light and darkness. My son knows that. We know it's a difference between daytime and nighttime. But a day in our forefathers' time period, their traditions, Enoch time, even Christ time, a day was 18 hours. We didn't follow after the Romans. So in that scripture that y'all use when you said Christ said, isn't it 12 hours in daylight? That was placed there. It had to be because our people was not observing a 24-hour clock. So who put that there? The synagogue of Satan. Yahshua could never say, isn't it 12 hours in the daytime? Because Enoch's about to destroy that. And that's who I'm going to believe, because the scriptures testify that Enoch was one that pleased the Most High. So I'm listening to what the Most High told Enoch, what he told Moses. I'm not going to listen to, what's his name? Neil Gardon. Neil Gardon is a gardener for Satan. He's planting poisonous weeds amongst the tear of the Most High. So, let's go.
Verse 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night.
He's talking to spirits. He ain't talking about the light time. Now let's get this. Let's get it. Keep going.
And the evening and the morning were the first day.
And the evening and the morning was the first day. So you had darkness first. Then you had light the first day. If what you're saying is true, where was the morning at? Because he said it was evening, and let's get that. Evening. Listen to what the Jewish people say evening is. You got look it up. I got it right here. I got it right here. H3117. No, that's like 86153. I'm gonna hold that because we don't get like two. What they say it is, but okay. 6153. You got it? I got it. Right here. Thus, evening, or evening, eventide, night. Night. So we had darkness, we had night time. Okay. What else we got? Keep reading.
And the evening
It starts at dusk when the sun sets. Okay? And let me explain this to y'all. We're going to get to these spirits. But the sun is cooperating with another spirit called light. I'm going to prove that. Darkness, the spirit of darkness, is cooperating with another spirit called the moon. Oh, I'm sorry. That might be some new news to y'all. But the sun is a spirit. The Bible calls the sun a masculine spirit. It's not what science has told you. The moon is a feminine spirit. She's a lesser light. Kind of how the Most High created man a little stronger than women. See, as in heaven, also on earth. But darkness is a spirit that's cooperating with the moon. And the light is a spirit that's cooperating with the sun. Because the sun is too small to light half of the earth. Why can I say that? Keep reading, Tyler.
and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night.
Now, okay, day. Okay. What was day? I should have held my thing. I'm going to say that. But day, let's say, is the light time. Okay? But I'm going to get to day in a minute when we get to the Sabbath. I'm going to say that for y'all. Let's go. Keep reading.
And the evening and the morning were the first day.
And the evening, so at nighttime, it started. I mean, I can add nothing to it. The law says, he who adds something to this or takes something away will be destroyed by the Father. Okay? So, for that doctrine to be true, it would have to be, the Most High would have to say, I don't care what Neil Gardner says, or Queen Elizabeth, that whole demonic family say. The Pope, okay? God said there was evening, morning, the first day. Okay? So, as he created darkness first, light came after darkness. So it was evening, morning, so you had a full cycle of nighttime, you had a full cycle of daytime, first day. Or it would have to be, and there was morning, a full cycle of day, because y'all say that the sun has to reign. The sun has to have its dominion for it to be a day. So the sun will have to have rain during the morning, daytime, and then evening, nighttime, then the first day. And then it must have said somewhere in y'all twisted mind, morning, evening, the first day. That's not what the Most High said. Okay, now check this out though. Let's keep reading.
Verse 6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters.
Let there be a firmament in the midst of the heaven. You know, I don't want to go to this. Talk about the flat Earth and stuff, and how the firmament is a curved, dome around Earth. I don't want to get there. I want to get to this doctrine. Let's go. Let's keep reading.
Drop down to
Let's drop down to 13.
verse 13. And the evening and the morning were the third day.
So we missed something. What the second day at?
Let's go to drop down to the second day.
Yeah.
7. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day.
Wow. Let's go back. There was evening, a cycle. I'm going to say it again. There was a cycle of nighttime, the cycle of daytime, the first day. So it came back around. There's a cycle of nighttime, the cycle of daytime, the second day. And this is Most High saying this twice. Now let's go to 13 again. Read that. Remember, we stopped in the morning, right? So the morning is the daytime. It's about the whole reign of the moon. Okay? But guess what, though? Guess what's not created right now?
The moon and the sun.
The who? The who? The moon and the sun? Oh, go figure that. Oh, see, I said that darkness and light are spirits. So how is there light and darkness and a first day and a second day and a third day and there's no sun and moon?
Sir. Bring it out.
Because you said the sun has to reign, has its dominion. He ain't even created yet. I mean, I'm just, no.
It's true. That's what the book says.
That's what the Bible says. That's what the Most High said. So the sun ain't really got nothing to do with it. Because the Most High said that it was evening, morning, it was dark, and it was light before the sun was created. Or the moon. And this to get to that, let's get this. And we ain't talking about one day. Let's jump down for a minute. Let's get 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. And I hope my brothers who watching this, who believe in this, listen to the spirit of the Most High. Please, and not the spirit of Satan. That's not an insult. Just tell you what it is, my brothers. Because we doing this lesson because this doctrine has penetrated our church. And through the Spirit of the Most High, I prayed for this day. Because one of my beloved brothers told me that he didn't get this from nobody, that the Most High gave him this. How can the Most High lead you to the synagogue of Satan? How can the Most High lead you to the same thought pattern, the same mentality as Neil Gardner, a Jesuit, Druid, a Satanist? Think about it, man. Think about it, brothers. The Most High don't do that. Sisters too. Think about it. The Most High is not in line with the synagogue of Satan. He's not in line with Satan. He's the total opposite. These are the Most High words. This is not me going through all these different translations of the Bible from the Jewish encyclopedia, from the new this and from that, and this Jew is this Jew is that. This is the Holy Bible, King James Version. God's word. Let's read this right here.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 8. But, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
So it was 4,000 years gone by before the sun and the moon was created. And we had 4,000 years of evening, morning, the first day, evening, the morning, the second day, evening, the morning, the third day. And guess what we also had? Sabbaths. Because according to the book of Jubilees, the angels were celebrating the Sabbath before man was created. Before the sun was created. I'm sorry, it couldn't be before the sun was created because after his, that's my era. Because after his creation, he rested on his Sabbath, on his seventh day. But they worship the Sabbath and still do every Sabbath. And the sun got nothing to do with that. Because as far as I know, according to scriptures, guess what the sun is? It's within the firmament. Guess what the Most High and his heavenly host is? Outside of the firmament. Let's go. Verse 31. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening,
For Genesis chapter 1. I think you losing. You lost it. Genesis, you said 31.
I did.
We was in Peter though. They
I'm sorry.
lost it. You
Oh,
lost it.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 31. Chapter 1, sister.
I looked up, I seen everybody like, oh, hold up, wait.
Where's 31 at?
Yeah.
We'll go from Genesis chapter 31 to chapter 2, verse 4.
It's like chapter 1, verse 31. Yep, verse 31. Yep.
Got it.
The book of Genesis chapter 1 and verse 31. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good.
It was in order, according to his liking. Okay?
And the evening and the morning were the sixth day.
So that's 6 times, that's 6 cycles. 6 circles. Evening, morning, first day. Evening, morning, second day. Evening, morning, third day. Evening, morning, fourth day. 2 more times. There's no disturbing that. He didn't put a morning in the beginning. It was evening because he created darkness first. He gonna do it again, a 7th time. And we know that 7 is complete. So the 7th day, it was complete. It was 7 complete cycles. Verse 1, chapter 2.
Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day.
So after the morning, the daytime, when you know now the sun's created. Let's get that. Let's start with the sun. Let's not skip the sun because that's the important piece right there. Go to 16. No, go to 15. No, 14.
Chapter 1, verse 14.
1 chapter 14. Let's go to the 4th day, the 4,000th year, okay, of creation.
Verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made...
He's creating angels now. The stars are angels. There's fiery stones, okay, to give light at nighttime. Okay? Read.
And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day. And
So he created other stars before he made the sun and the moon to give light at night. Because we had light during the daytime. Okay? We had darkness. So now he added light for the darkness to give light during nighttime. But he about to make 2 greater lights. Okay? Let's get it.
And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day,
So the greater light to rule the spirit of the day. Okay?
and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament.
And God set them where?
In the firmament.
In the firmament. They're not outside the firmament. That's why we can look at right now and see how close they are. They're not 900 billion light years away. They're right there. Okay? They're not that far. Okay? Let's go.
And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good.
So we already know that there's a difference between night and day, but you can't say that when Most High speaking of a day, he's already talking about. And that's one thing about a day. There's so many different usage of how the Most High used the word day. It's just not one way that he used the word day. You can't say he used the word day. You say Sabbath day. It's only talking about in the light time. He used day for many different causes, right? Many. Okay. The Lord's day, is that only when the light shine? Is that only when the light shine? The Lord's day? No. We're gonna read a lot, and we're gonna even read about when he's dealing with the moon, talking about the day. So the day is still going on at night. So we're gonna let the Most High speak, right? Not the Jewish people. Let's read.
Where do you want to go now? To back to chapter 2, verse 1.
Do we go to 4? Okay,
Not yet.
let's go back to where we at. Chapter 2, verse 1. No, where we at?
Yeah, verse 2.
Verse 2.
Yeah. In the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 2. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work.
So this is not just talking about the time when the sun is shining. So you tell me the Most High is rested while the sun was shining? I mean, no, this is about a time span that could be greater than 1,000 years or more. Okay? So that's one connotation right there that's not talking about when the sun is shining. We just read 4,000 years when the sun wasn't even here. So light or day cannot be talking about when the sun is shining. Okay? But we're going to read in the book of Enoch, it's going to talk about the luminaries. And we're going to talk about Enoch, through the Most High Spirit, is going to talk about the sun shining and the moon shining. Okay? You need both to make a complete day. Nighttime must come. Daytime must come. That's a day, according to the Most High. I don't have to go to no Strong's Concordance, nothing of that. The Most High just said that 7 times. I'm sorry, he said it 6 times. He said on the 7th day he rested. He didn't say evening, morning, because after the cycle of daytime, it was the 7th day at night, and he rested. Okay? So, let's read.
Because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that the Most High God made the earth and the heavens.
Oh, there's another day. In the who? In the day that the Most High made the earth and heaven. So did he make the heavens and the earth when the sun was shining? This is why I say you cannot distinguish and say that the only time when the Most High uses the word day, that he's talking about when the sun is shining. He says in the day, he's on the time period, he created heavens and earth. So you can't say when he uses the word day, this is what he's talking about.
I was just trying to see was this like time for disturbing. I mean, is this like the education to like Jubilee place?
No, this is education for the Most High God. You can come and learn.
Oh, this church?
This is church. This is Sabbath class. You're more welcome to sit down. Sabbath class.
Sabbath.
Yes. This is church. You more welcome to have a seat, sister. What's your name?
Oh, can I give her a hug?
You give her a hug.
Get my GPS, see the big one there, let me downstairs, the private strap, I just had to drop my car.
Come on, get some real education. Let's go. Let's go to Exodus chapter 20. Verse 8 through 11. Hope to see you again, my sister.
Okay, got it, please.
Let's go.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
See, they say, when it says, remember the Sabbath day, because it says a different when he said, remember my Sabbaths. Then we say, remember my Sabbath day. They're trying to say that that's the time period when the sun is shining, that he make an emphasis that that's the time we're supposed to worship the Sabbath, when the sun is shining. And my question is, okay, in the wintertime, the Sabbath 6 hours, 7 hours long? We're going to shorten the Most High, his most important day? Because we're gonna read about the difference between how the day becomes shorter than the night, right? But let's check this out, right? Let's get the Jewish people's definition of this word day concerning the Sabbath, right? It says, "Rut" means to be hot, a day, as the warm hours, whether literal. It says from sunrise to sunset. See, that's where they stop at right there. See, so it said the day is from sunrise to sunset. But guess what that is? That's called daytime. Okay? But guess what else it says? See, they don't tell you this part. You keep reading. That's how the Bible is. We say, you keep on reading the scriptures, it's going to tell you the truth. And then out of their own mouth, guess what it says? Or from one sunset to the next. How I look, bro?
Just there.
From one sunset to the next. Can you see that?
Is it where your finger at?
Yeah, put my finger there. From one sunset to the next. Where did that come from? Could it be the Bible? From one sunset to the next. A day, according to the Most High God. From sunset to sunset, a day. Evening, morning, first day. Evening, morning, second day. We done with that. Keep reading, my brothers. And this is why it's important to read the entire Bible. Not read a couple chapters, a couple precepts and get some information from these Jewish people and think you know something. Remember that the synagogue of Satan, they are full of blasphemies. Even they tell you from sunset to sunset. Let's get it. So his Sabbaths are from sunset to sunset. Okay? Read.
Verse 9. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy works. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Ahiah thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
I'm looking for something right now.
Verse 11. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
He blessed the seventh day and hallowed it. He didn't bless the time the sun was shining. The day, the 18-hour cycle. That's a day, right? Sunset to sunset. What's the next precept?
Ecclesiastes 12:1.
Ecclesiastes 12:1. Now, show you in the Bible how light is different than the sun. Again, precept on precept. Okay? These are all spirits. Start from 1.
The book of Ecclesiastes in the 66 in the Old Testament, chapter 12 and verse 1. And it reads, Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun, or the light, or the moon, or the stars be not darkened.
Wait. Let me get that. While the sun, remember, sun's a masculine spirit, or the light, another spirit, or the moon, another spirit, or the stars, other spirits, be not darkened. Be not darkened. So you mean that the light can be darkened? You mean the Most High can tell the light not to shine his light? As he have told the sun on occasions not to shine his light? The Most High was talking to a spirit. It's not talking about daytime. Because daytime is daytime. That's not what the Most High is promoting. He says, remember my Sabbath. You know, why would it be hard for somebody to sanctify 6 hours to the Most High? Who would complain about 6 hours? No, it was the complete 18-hour day that they was complaining about. It's only 2 times in a year when you have equal parts night, equal parts day. So Christ couldn't be talking about there's 12 hours in a day. It's called the equinox. Okay? It says, nor the clouds return after the rain. Okay? You get that? Let's get it. Enoch. Let me read this right here. I pray that this is edifying for those who have, gave ear to that Jewish doctrine, and they come back to the Most High God and keep His Sabbath holy. Okay. Now, chapter 237. The Most High is going to describe to us the operation of the sun and how He shines His light during the daytime. We're going to get to the moon also. Okay? The book of the courses of the luminaries of the heaven, the relations of each, according to their classes, their dominion, and their seasons, according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months, which Uriel, the holy angel, who was with me, who is their guide, showed me. See, science is way off. Uriel is an angel, archangel that is guiding the luminaries. heavens. All of them, sun, moon, and the stars. Okay? They're following Uriel as the sun follows him. Who was with me, who was their guide, showed me. And he showed me all the laws exactly as they are. Well, if the stars came from Big Bang, I mean, they don't have ears and can't follow directions. That's just a rock, I guess, that's floating out in the universe. No, at this enormous speed, just spinning out of control. The Most High said it had laws. There's order to this thing, okay? This creation. And how it is with regard to all the years of the world and unto eternity, till the new creation is accomplished, which endures till eternity. And this is the first law of the luminaries. The luminary of the sun has its rising in the eastern portal, okay, of the heaven, and it setteth in the western portals of the heaven. And I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets. Now, I wasn't going to get into this, but I want you to listen to what the Bible says. Enoch has been, lifted up. Most High is showing him his creation. He's looking down on the earth. So if the earth was a globe, he can see all this. He see the whole thing, the whole cycle of the luminaries. He see the whole earth and the ends of it. So I'm not going to add nothing to it. I'm just making it make sense to you, right? He see like a dividing line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. West side, east side. You can't see it looking down on the globe. Okay. Just put, inquiring minds. And the moon rises and sets in these portals. And the leaders of the stars and those who they lead. 6 in the east, 6 in the west. And all following each other in accurately corresponding order. For those who are amateur astrologers, they got many pictures, videos right now, and they'll show you the stars going in a circle from east to west in order, constantly. The earth is not spinning. Right now, the wind is blowing. I see debris, pollen, little things floating in the air. If the earth was spinning 1,000 miles a minute, why are the clouds sitting still or moving so slow? When the wind is blowing, I see anything moving that the wind is blowing. Because if it was going 1,000 miles a minute, I mean, it'd be like straight lines. Just, the clouds just be straight lines. If it was spinning 1,000 miles a minute, when someone shoots a gun, how can they hit a target? Because the target will be gone, As a kid, we were some of this last time. Mm-hmm. If it's spinning 1,000 miles a minute, wouldn't it be like a disco light? This boom, 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 like that. Right? If it was spinning 1,000 miles a minute, how can a plane land so accurately? Wouldn't the target be, the plane would be confused. Let's get back to the script. This is something to think about. Read, Tyler. Mm-hmm. You know what I meant?
Yep. And first there goeth forth the great luminary, named the sun, and the circumference is like the circumference of the heaven.
Circle.
And he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives.
The chariot in which he ascends. We're going to get to that chariot stuff in a minute. It's not a spaceship. Okay?
And the sun goes down from the heaven and returns through the north in order to reach the east, and is so guided that he comes to the appropriate portal and shines in the face of the heaven.
These portals, these 12 portals, the Gentiles have made them the zodiac signs. Okay? So let's go.
In this way, he
That
rises.
they worship. Let's go. They worship the stars. Okay? The fallen angels. Let's go.
In this way, he rises in the first month in the great portal, which is the fourth, those 6 portals in the east. And in that fourth portal, from which the sun rises in the first month, are 12 window openings, from which proceeded a flame when they are opened in their season. When the sun rises in the heaven, he comes forth through that fourth portal 30 mornings in succession, and sets accurately in the fourth portal in the west of the heaven. And during this period, the day becomes daily longer and nightly shorter to the 30th morning.
So, when this happens, right, the day starts to become longer and the night shorter. Okay? During the course of this day, read.
On that day, the day is longer than the night by a 9th part, and the day amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts.
18 hours.
80 minutes apiece.
80 minutes apiece. 10 parts sun to 8 parts moon. 18 hours. This is what the Jews followed. Okay? Because they said that 238. This is what the Jews followed. Enoch. Okay? There's no such thing as a Jewish people in the Bible. Okay? Jews from the land of Judah. Judea, I meant to say. That's where the Jew word come from. They're from the land of Judea. Okay? Germany, Rome, is not Judea. Jew, so-called Jewish. Not the same. The Jews follow Enoch, because in the Bible it talks about Enoch's testimonies. Even Yasha, who y'all call Christ, refers to him. Okay? But let's go.
And the sun rises from that fourth portal, and sets in the fourth, and returns to the fifth portal of the east 30 mornings,
That's 2 months.
and rises from it, and sets in the fifth portal. And then the day becomes longer by 2 parts, and amounts to 11 parts. And the night becomes shorter, and amounts to 7 parts. And it returns to the east, and enters into the sixth portal, and rises, and sets in the sixth portal 1 and 30 mornings.
Going around the surface of the face of the earth. It's going through portals. And it's changing every month. It's going through a different portal. Okay? And if you watch on TV, on YouTube, how these Gentiles have, this circulation of this rotation of the sun, the moon, and the stars, you will see it go through what they call different zodiacs, signs, but the Most High calls them portals. Okay? The earth is not going around the sun. The sun, the stars is going around the focus of the universe, the earth, God's footstool. Okay?
And it returns to the east, and enters into the sixth portal, and rises, and sets in the sixth portal 1 and 30 mornings on account of its sign. On that day, the day becomes longer than the night, and the day becomes double the night, and the day becomes 12 parts.
Now it's talking about the daytime, the time that the sun has dominion during the course of the day. 18 hours, according to Enoch, is a day, but now we calculate that as 24 hours with 60 minutes in an hour. Okay?
And
Because we're following the Gentiles. Okay?
And the day becomes 12 parts, and the night is shortened and becomes 6 parts. And the
12, 6, 18. So the sun is dominion during this season where, like right now, right? This is first day of summer. So we have more daytime than we have nighttime. Okay? That's what the Bible is talking about. Let's go.
And the sun mounts up to make the day shorter and the night longer. And the sun returns to the east and enters into the sixth portal and rises from it and sets 30 mornings. And when 30 mornings are accomplished, the day decreases by exactly 1 part and becomes 11 parts, and the night is 7. And the sun goes forth from the sixth portal in the west and goes to the east and rises in the fifth portal for 30 mornings and sets in the west again in the fifth western portal. On that day, the day decreases by 2 parts.
So now the daytime is starting to decrease. Okay, let's go.
And amounts to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun goes forth from that fifth portal and sets in the fifth portal of the west and rises in the fourth portal for 130 mornings on account of his sign and
Now,
sets in the west.
31 days. We have 30, 30, 31 days. New moon. Okay? Change of season. Okay? According to Most High. 30, 30, 31. 30, 30, 31. 30, 30, 31. The extra day is an intergalactic day of change of season. Okay? Let's go.
On that day,
And 30, 31 makes 4. Let's go.
the day is equalized.
The who?
The day is equalized
So
with the night.
now the day is equalized with the night. That's one of the first times. I say it happened twice, right? It happens in spring, the beginning of the year. All right? What happened in the wintertime or autumn?
Fall.
Twice. They have equal parts. Let's go.
And becomes of equal length, and the night amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. And the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises 30 mornings in the third portal, and sets in the west in the third portal. And on that day, the night becomes longer than the day. And
Wait. So let's talk about the day and the night. Y'all understand that? On that day, the night becomes longer. So that means the day is still going on for the night to become longer.
Exactly. It's still
Okay?
within that.
It's still within that day.
Right.
See, they're confused because see, in a article, they have an article. Neil Gardner has an article that says, was God confused? No, you're confused. Right? He's talking about within that day, the night becomes thus. Okay? Read.
And on that day, the night becomes longer than the day.
And on that day, the night becomes longer. See, it's not talking about when the sun is shining, concerning the Most High's day.
And night becomes longer than...
Right here, they made a mistake.
Right.
It says, I changed it. It says, and night becomes longer than day, and day shorter than night. They put the same name right there. See?
Yep. Till the 30th morning, and the night amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the day to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that third portal, and sets in the third portal in the west, and returns to the east. And for 30 mornings rises in the second portal in the east. And in like manner sets in the second portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day the night amounts to 11 parts, and the day to 7 parts.
And on that day, the night amounts to, read,
7 parts. Or 11 parts, and the day to 7 parts. And the sun rises on that day from the second portal and sets in the west in the second portal, and returns to the east in the first portal for 130 days, mornings, and sets in the first portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day, the night becomes longer and amounts to the double of the day.
I'm going to pose the question again. Is Most High confused, or the synagogue of Satan lying? Because on that day, the night, on that day, the night, on that day, the night, that's going to be repetitive throughout this reading. Okay? Read.
and the night amounts exactly to 12 parts, and the day to 6.
So it's talking about a complete cycle of night and day. Read.
And the sun has therewith tra- traversed the divisions of his orbit, and turns again on those divisions of his, and turns again opposite to it. And on that night has the night decreased in length by a ninth part, and the night has become 11 parts, and the day 7 parts. And the sun has returned and entered into the second portal in the east, and returns on those his divisions of his orbit for 30 mornings, rising and setting. And on that day the night decreases in length, and the night amounts to 10 parts, and the day to 8. And on that day the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises in the third portal for 31 mornings, and sets in the west of heaven. On that day the night decreases and amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. And the night is equal to the day, and the year is exactly as to its days 364.
A complete cycle of a year. 52 Sabbaths. Read.
And the length of the day and of the night, and the shortness of the day and of the night arise. Throughout the course of the sun, these distinctions are made. So it comes that its course becomes daily longer, and its course nightly shorter. And this is the law, and the course of the sun, and his return as often as he returns 60 times and rises. The great luminary, which is named the sun, forever and ever. And that thus rises is the great luminary, and is so named according to its appearance, according to as Ahia commanded. As he rises, so he sets and decreases not, and rests not, but runs day and night, and his light is sevenfold brighter than that of the moon.
See, they'll take this. See, it runs day and night. See that? See, night and day are separate. We know that. They're two different spirits. But the combination of two cycles of night and day is one day, according to Ahia. Now, let's get to the moon. Did we finish that part?
As he rises, so
As he
and
rises.
his light is sevenfold brighter than that of the moon. But as regards size, they are both equal.
That's why you have a what's called that? Eclipse. Because they're the same size. If the sun was so huge, as the scientists say, how can a little moon eclipse it? Makes no sense. Right? Most I said they're the same size. The sun has have more glory than the sun. Okay? Than the moon. I mean, than the moon. Thank you. Okay? Now, I'm going to read this part. Give my man a break. The moon and its phases. Chapter 73. And after this law, I saw another law dealing with the smaller luminary, which is named the moon. And her circumference is like the circumference of the heaven. Like I said, the moon is a feminine spirit. Those Jewish Satanists have lied to us through their religion called science. And her circumference is like the circumference of the heaven. And her chariot in which she rides is driven by the wind also. The light is given to her in definite measure, and her rising and setting change every month. And her day, wow.
What?
You mean the moon has a day? Come on now. I love y'all. This is not for what, don't let's say get people in your mind right now and think I'm on something different, because I'm on love right now. Have an ear to hear what the Spirit has to say through his servant. Her days are like the days of the sun.
Mm.
Her, and this is the thing, right? I told Tyler and Levi this earlier today. Most I got me about 3:30 this morning. I was not even going to Enoch. I was going to Jubilees. The first time I opened this book up, this is what it came to. And I put that on there. Most I said, no, don't swear, so I'm not going to swear. But that's what happened. Most I was my witness. Because Enoch destroys that Jewish mess called the daytime Sabbath. Her days are like the days of the sun, and with her light is uniform. Huh? Uniform, and amounts to the seventh part of the light of the sun. And thus she rises, and her first phases in the east comes forth on the 13th morning. And on that day she becomes visible.
Mm.
I thought the day was over with. Or the daytime was only, a day was the only time that the sun was shining. La'ah. In Hebrew that means no. Okay? La'ah. On that day she becomes visible. You know, she be gone for a while. Like, where the moon at? You know? She be gone. She a woman. Y'all do your thing sometimes. So, you know, hey, it's all consistent doing it both sides. So, she becomes visible and constitute for her the first phase of the moon on the 13th day, together with the sun in the portal where the sun rises. Don't we see them at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
On a flat earth. Because if the earth was a globe, you can see the moon and the sun at the same time. One be on one side, one be on the west side, and one be on the east side. But on a flat surface, you can see them both, as you really do in real life. Trust what your eyes see. Okay? So, the 13th day together with the sun in the portal where the sun rises. And on the first half of her goes, forth by the seventh part, and her whole circumference is empty, without light, with the exception of the 1/7 part of it, and the 14th part of her light. And when she receives 1/7 part of the half of her light amounts to 1/7 part, and the half thereof, and she sets with the sun. And when the sun rises, the moon rises with him, and receives the half of 1 part of light. And in that night, in the beginning of her morning, okay, in the, I say that, commencement of the lunar day, the moon sets with the sun, and is invisible that night, with the 14th part and the half of one of them. And she rises on that day with exactly 7 parts. It comes forth and receives from the rising of the sun, and in her remaining days, she becomes bright in the remaining 13 parts. I saw another course, a law for her, and how according to that law she performs her monthly revolution. And all these Uriah, the holy angel who is the leader of them all, showed to me in their positions. And I wrote down their positions as he showed them to me. And I wrote down their months as they were, and the appearance of their lights till 15 days were accomplished. In the single 7th part she accomplished all her light in the east, and in the single 7th part accomplished all her darkness in the west. And in certain months she altered her settings, and in certain months she pursued her own peculiar course. In 2 months the moon sets with the sun. In those two middle portals, the 3rd and the 4th, she goes forth for 7 days, and turns about and returns again through the portal where the sun rises, and accomplishes all her light. And she receives from the sun, and in 8 days enter the sixth portal from which the sun goes forth. And when the sun goes forth from the fourth portal, she goes forth 7 days, until she goes from the fifth and turns back again to the first portal in 8 days. See, it's talking about the whole cycle. It's not just talking about when the sun is shining. 8 days. 8 days. The moon is doing something. And she returns again in 7 days in the fourth portal from which the sun goes forth. Thus I saw their positions, how the moon rose and the sun set in those days. And in 5 years are added together, the sun has an overplus of 30 days. And all the days which occur to it for one of those 5 years, when they are full, amounts to 364 days. And the overplus of the sun and of the stars amount to 6 days. In 5 years, 6 days, every year comes 30 days. And the moon falls behind the sun and stars to the number of 30 days. And the sun and the stars bring in the years exactly, so that they do not advance or delay their position by a single day into eternity, but complete the years with perfect justice in 364 days. In 3 years there are 1,092 days. In 5 years, 1,820 days, so that in 8 years there are 2,912 days. For the moon alone, the days amount. For the moon alone, the days amount. For the moon alone, the days amount in 3 years to 1,062 days. And in 5 years, she falls 50 days behind. There is to be added 1,062 days. 1,062 days. And in 5 years, there are 1,770 days. So that for the moon, the days is in 8 years amount to 2,832 days. For in 8 years, she falls behind to the amount of 80 days. All the days she falls behind in 8 years are 80. And the year is exactly completed in conformity with their world station and the stations of the sun, which rise from the portals through which the sun rises and sets in 30 days. Read chapter 35, please.
Pardon?
35, verse 1.
75. And the leaders of the heads of the thousands, who are placed over the whole creation and over all the stars, have also to do with the 4 intercalary days,
What we're doing right now, okay?
being inseparable from their office, according to the reckoning of the year. And these render service on the 4 days, which are not reckoned in the reckoning of the year. And owing to them, men go wrong therein. For those luminaries truly render service on the world stations, one in the first portal, one in the third portal of the heaven, one in the fourth portal, and one in the sixth portal. And the exactness of the year is accomplished through its separate 364 stations. For the signs and the times and the years and the days the angel Uriel showed to me, whom the Most High, Lord of glory, hath set forever over all luminaries of the heaven and in the world, that they should rule on the face of the heaven and be seen on the earth, and be leaders for the day and the night, the sun, moon.
It's not, again, there's a difference between the day and night. We know that. But the combination of the two, evening and morning, it makes one day.
The moon and stars and all the ministering creatures which make the revolution in the chariots of the heaven. In like manner, 12 doors Uriel showed me, open in the circumference of the sun's chariot in the heaven, through which the rays of the sun break forth, and from them is warmth diffused over the earth.
Wait, read that part again. That
Circumference of the sun's chariot in heaven, through which the rays of the sun break forth, and from them is warmth diffused over the earth, when they are opened at their appointed seasons.
Did you see that? This is what I was telling Tyler, right? I'm like, The sun does not warm the whole earth. It's impossible. The earth is huge. The earth is a spirit, and she's huge. They say the sun is 70 miles in diameter, right? So if all the earth heat came from the sun, when the sun sets and goes to the other side of the earth, shouldn't it be cold here? He's gone. But the Bible says that through this window, what? Heat comes through a portal. In the seasons, heat, cold, all those things are spirits operating according to the Most High laws. Okay? So that's why right now, down south, at nighttime, it's warm. Because it's spirits coming through the portals from the Most High. That's what Enoch is seeing. Okay? Let's go.
And for the winds and the spirit of the dew,
The spirit of the dew. Okay? See? Everything Most High created spirits. Read.
when they are open, standing open in the heavens at the end. As for the 12 portals in the heaven, and the ends of the earth, out of which go forth the sun, moon, and stars, and all the works of heaven in the east and in the west, there are many windows open to the left and to the right of them, and one window at its appointed season produces warmth.
And one window in appointed season produces warmth. Hey. Read.
Corresponding as these do to those doors from which the stars come forth, according as he has commanded them. And
That's why I said in the beginning he was talking to spirits. The Jewish people ain't telling them that in their doctrine. I saw, light, it was good. Dark, it was good. These are spirits. He gave them a commandment. But let's go.
and wherein they sat corresponding to their number. And I saw chariots in the heaven, running in the world above those portals, in which revolve the stars that never set, and one is larger than all the rest, and it is that makes its course through the entire world.
Okay. Now I'm going to read this last chapter, verse 78. Okay. Concerning the moon again. And the names of the sons are. Should I read that? Or are we fine with the? Are we fine?
Yeah, I think it. Yeah,
You get it?
Drove it home.
Okay. But the last thing that I do want to read, okay, is confirm what I was saying about darkness being a spirit and light being a spirit. Okay. Also, book of Enoch, Secrets of Enoch, when the Most High is going through the same creation. We're getting a little more detail, okay? And we're going to end class and enjoy our food, okay? I'm going to start at verse 20, chapter 24, on page 444. It says, and the Lord summoned me and said to me, Enoch, sit down on my left with Gabriel. And I bowed down before Ahia. And Ahia spoke to me, Enoch, beloved, all thou seest, all things that are standing finished, I tell thee, even before the very beginning, and that I created from the non-being the visible things from invisible. Hear, Enoch, and take in these my words, for not to my angels have I told my secrets, and I have not told them their rise, nor their endless realm, nor have they understood my creating, which I tell thee today. Today. Okay, so ain't talking about when the sun is rising. For before all things were visible, I alone used to go about in the invisible things, like the sun from the east to the west, and from west to east. But even the sun has peace in itself, while I found no peace, because I was creating all things. And I conceived the thought of placing foundations and of creating visible things. 25. And I commanded to the very lowest part, that visible thing should come down from invisible. And Abdul, which is darkness, okay, came down very great. And I beheld him, and lo, he had a belly of great light. And I said to him, become undone, Abdul, and let the visible come out of thee. And he came undone, and a great light came out. and I was in the midst of the great light. I'm getting it. And as there was born light from light, there came from a great age and showed all creation, which I had thought to create. And I saw it was good. And I placed for myself a throne, and took my seat on it, and said to the light, Go up higher, and fix thyself high above the throne. So he said to the light, a spirit, I had it wrong. Anyway, a spirit, he says, go up higher, and fix thyself above the throne, and be a foundation to the highest things. And above the light there is nothing else. And then I bent up and looked up from my throne. And I summoned the very lowest a second time. See, he didn't talk about what he did to the darkness at first. He said, I summoned the spirit of darkness the second time. Okay? Wait a minute. And said, let Arcus, so Adur is light, Arcus is darkness. I had it wrong. Let Arcus come forth hard. And he came forth hard from the invisible. So these are spirits that we read in Genesis. And it was darkness that was on the face of the deep. The spirit we're talking about right now. There's a light that we talking about that he created. Right? He said talk to the darkness the second time. So he talked to darkness first, then he talked to the light, and then he talked to darkness again. Okay? So it says, and let Arcus come forth hard. And he came forth hard from the invisible. Arcus came forth very hard, and it says very red. If you go to the next translation, it says, and very black. It was not very red, very black. It was darkness. Okay? Y'all see that on the right side? Okay. And I said, be open, Arcus, and let there be born from thee. And he came undone in age, came forth very great and very dark. See how I go together? Bearing the creation of all lower things. Remember the face of the abyss? Deep. All right? And I saw it was good, and said to him, a spirit. So Jewish people are not telling you that these are spirits. He says he's talking to a spirit. He's not talking about the time the sun is shining, because somewhere in there he was talking to the spirits. Go down below and make thyself firm, and be for a foundation for the lower things. And it happened, and he went down and fixed himself, and became a foundation for the lower things, and below the darkness there's nothing else. 27. And I commanded that there should be taken from light and darkness, and I said, be thick, and it became thus. And I spread it out with the light, and it became water, and I spread it out over the darkness below the light, and then I made firm the waters. That is to say, the bottomless. And I made foundations of light around the water, and created 7 circles from inside, and imagined it, the water, like crystal, wet and dry. That is to say, like glass, and the succession of the waters and the other elements. Who? That's it, right? Circumcisions of the water and the other elements, and I showed each one of them its roads. Ocean to the sea, to the lakes, go down to the rivers. And the 7 stars from one of them in his heaven, that they go thus. And I saw that it was good. And I separated between light and between darkness. 2 different spirits. That is to say, in the midst of the waters hither and thither. And I said to the light, that it should be day. It should be the day. That is a name. Right? And to the darkness, that it should be night. And there was evening, and there was morning the first day. There was evening, and there was morning the first day. Another witness. Okay? 28. And then I made firm the heavenly circle, and made that lower water which was under the heavens collect itself together into one whole, and that the chaos became dry, and it became so. Out of the waves I created rock hard and big, and from the rock I piled up the dry, and the dry I called earth. And the midst of the earth I call abyss. That is to say, the bottomless. I collected the sea in one place and bound it together with a yoke. And I said to the sea, behold, I give thee eternal limits, and thou shalt not break loose from thy component parts. Thus I made fast the firmament the first day I called me the first created. Okay? 29. Then it became evening, and then it again morning. It was the second day. Then they messed up right here. They put Monday the first day, then you go back down here. They put Tuesday the third day. So, no, they got it right. Okay? But let's get it again. 29, verse 1. Then it became, remember, it was evening and morning. So what comes after the daytime? Evening and morning. It was the second day. Go figure. And for all the heavenly truths, I imagine the image and essence of fire. That's why when we look up at the stars, you see all that sparkling light, the changing colors. It's beautiful when you get a telescope. Okay? And for all the heavenly troops, the angels, I imagine the image and essence of fire. And my eye looked at the very hard, firm rock. And from the gleam of my eye, the lightning received its wonderful nature, which is both fire and water and fire. And one does not put out the other. That's excellency. And the Most High is awesome. He creates some of fire and water, and they don't even put each other out. He's the God of majesty. So let him tell us what his day means, not his creation. Let the creator explain his creation, not the creation explaining the creator's creation. And he don't even deal with them people anyway. They're the synagogue of Satan. Nor does the one dry up the other. Therefore the lightning is brighter than the sun, softer than water, and firmer than rock. And from the rock I cut off a great fire. And from the fire I created the orders of the incorporeal troops of angels. They're the stars. And their weapons are fiery, and their raiments are burning flames. And I commanded that each one should stand in its order. Now I'm going to read about the Jewish people, gods, and how the Most High feel about him and what he did to him. And one of the angels from out of the order of angels, having turned away with the order that was under him. So the angels, that the third angels the Most High put under Lucifer, turned away from the Most High's order. They rebelled against the Most High. Say rebelled, and his angels rebelled with him. Conceived an impossible thought, to place his throne higher than the clouds above the earth, that he may become equal in rank to my power. And I threw him out from the heights with his angels, and he was flying in the air continuously above the bottomless. Yasha said he seen Satan. What? Doing this right here. Cast out of heaven, flying to the earth. And he got here and he was angry, and he gathered a people, and they are the synagogue of him. With that, I hope that was edifying for us all, and for anyone who has been misled by this satanic doctrine against the Most High Holy Day, the Sabbath. Please watch this video again, go through the precepts, and pray first for understanding. May the Most High be with y'all. God bless. Okay.